Hello. So this is my beach yarn unboxing. This is my beach. Well, it's not even my beach, I'm just staying at the beach. This was one of the coolest gifts I've ever been given, is a couple of nights staying at somebody's batch, which it's not a batch, it's like a giant house with, there's a whole boat room. Like, it's very cool. This is Crochet Me Zaddy's, or what is he calling his yarn company? Zaddy Crafts. A really good chenille. I jumped on it when it came online because it happened to do the pre-release during my morning tea break at work, and I just sat down with my coffee and opened my phone. It's like, it's live. So I did manage to get the 5 colours I wanted. I wanted to get 5 colours because he said that the shipping would be the same for 5 balls, and I was like, right, that makes it simple. 5 balls. So what did I get? I got the brown one. I don't know what the colours are called. I'm never going to remember the names of the colours. Cuddly. So this is Cuddly. It is very soft. It does have the line that the blanket yarns have, but it's quite faint. It feels like it's a similar thickness to Honey Bunny. But yeah, so I've got Cuddly, and I've got, what's this one? Adventurous, which matches my background quite nicely. I've got a thing with a discount code that's very cute. That's very cute. There will be another order, no doubt, because it didn't take too long to get here. That's my receipt. And then this one is Playful. This one, oh, it's not as orange as I thought it was going to be. It's more pastel than, I mean, I knew it was going to be a pastel one, but like, it's quite pastel. This one's Charisma. I'm charismatic, and this is my favorite color. Love orange. And then this one, this green one, is Witty. So my thought was Sunflower Turtle, but with those colors, because I've ordered similar colors out of the Hobbii toucan, and I'm going to make 2 sunflower turtles, and I'm going to compare the 2. That's unintentional, because I'd forgotten that I'd ordered the Hobbii toucan in the colors for a sunflower turtle, because I used my sunflower turtle for something else. I bought the colors for it, and then I used them, and then, yeah. So I got the toucan in the same shades, unexpectedly. What's this? Is this the end, or is this, I don't know. Either way, it arrived while I was in Christchurch. Around about the time I took off to go to Christchurch, it arrived, so I didn't get to open it then. And now it's here, and I thought I'd bring it out to the beach, but obviously I haven't used it at the beach. So that's exciting. We will see how we go with the Zaddy Crafts, a really good chenille. Okay, so as you know, the plan is I'm going to make sunflower turtles, and I'm doing it basically to have a look at the Zaddy Crafts, a really good chenille yarn. I bought 5 balls of this on release. I also forgot that I bought 5 balls of Hobbii toucan for the first time around about the same time, both around Black Friday. So I'm going to end up with 2 sunflower turtles, inadvertently testing the toucan against the Zaddy Crafts. Really good chenille yarn. I do have a lot of Honey Bunny, but what I've done to start with is I've cut a length of each one and a couple of other things. So this here is a cheap velvet yarn that I've used quite a lot of because I can get it. What it basically is you can see there's a flat seam down the center. It makes a giant mess as you crochet with it. It sheds quite easily, but it is really soft. It's a nice velvet yarn. It's cheap, but as soon as you have to frog anything, forget it. You need to know what you're doing. You can't just frog this stuff because it makes a giant mess everywhere. I also have, which is the red one. This is a blanket yarn that's quite cheap that I've used a lot of. It has some strength, but as soon as you get to the ends, it comes apart. It's really not soft once you crochet it. It's reasonably soft when it's in the ball, but as soon as you crochet it, it gets much tougher. And again, I've got lots of this stuff everywhere. So here's my 3 ends. The white is Honey Bunny. The gold is toucan, and the green is the Zaddy Crafts. Don't ask me what the colours are because Hobbii just numbers them, and Zaddy's got, well, Zach's got cool names for his yarns, but I'm never going to remember them. So we're just going to call this white Honey Bunny. I've used a lot of Honey Bunny. My issues with Honey Bunny is that it will shed. However, as long as you don't have to frog too often, it is froggable. It is relatively easy to do the magic ring, but it's not the easiest, but it's not the hardest. So as long as you don't do a tight magic ring to start with, that first stitch on the magic ring, it's not too bad. But it does shed. But at least you can frog it. It does come apart. Right, now let's have a look at the Hobbii toucan and compare. I shouldn't have wrecked it all to start with. Okay, so the toucan compared to the Honey Bunny does feel like it's more dense. It's more densely packed with the fibres. Let's see how we go. I have used a little bit of this when I made my penguin. So I can get the ends out. I can pluck bits from the middle. It's still soft. It's nice and round still. It hasn't got a flat side. But as far as it goes compared to Honey Bunny, I think it's just more dense. I think there's just more fluff in the same length. So it's just a more dense yarn. Now if I have a look at the Zaddy Crafts one, it's definitely not as soft as Honey Bunny or Toucan. It does have a line down the middle like the blanket yarns do, but it's much softer than the blanket yarns. If I pull at it, I am getting it out of the ends, but it's much harder to get it out of the ends. Now that's a green, is that a green thread through the centre, or is it my imagination? I don't know. I don't know how it's put together. Can I pluck it from the centre? I mean, I can, but it takes a lot more effort. So, yes, it is definitely stronger than the Hobbii yarns. I'm still saying that Honey Bunny at this stage is the... I've just dropped it. Honey Bunny is still the softest out of the three, followed by Toucan being very close behind. Here's my wrecked yarns next to each other. So the white being the Honey Bunny is definitely less dense than the Toucan. The Toucan is not as dense or as thick as the Zaddy Crafts one. If I pull them tight, let's see if that makes a difference. If I pull them tight, they're all going to look quite similar. Yeah. So if I'm crocheting tightly, which I'd like to do again, they do look quite similar in size. So the plan is I'm going to make 2 sunflower turtles. I've got my own pattern for a sunflower turtle. I know there's a million of them out there, but I want one with something specific in the centre. And that's going to give me an idea of a few different stitches used with each of these. I've got fluff everywhere. I tell you, pulling these things apart, probably not the smartest idea. 2 sunflower turtles, one in the really good chenille and one in the Hobbii toucan. If I still have time and inclination, I might be able to do a Honey Bunny one. I'll do them all in the same size crochet hook. I don't know which size crochet hook that's going to be at the moment. I'm going to see my hand physio later, and then I'll decide. But I'll probably use a 5 or a 6 millimeter crochet hook, which is a little bit fatter than I'd like to do, but I don't think my wrist is up to anything smaller, and I need quite a grippy handle, and those are the ones that I've got that are quite grippy, for lack of a better description. So when I next see you, it will be with something actually crocheted from these yarns, and we'll see how we go from there.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had.
Okay, here's my first sunflower turtle. This is with the toucan yarn. It's not too bad. I mean, I was worried going through with the petals that it was going to snap the internal bit, you know, the string, but it's held together. I did realise just now that I did this whole thing with a 6mm crochet hook, where toucan usually goes for a 7. There's bits of fluff, but that's alright. Now to try the Zaddy Craft one on the same pattern. Right, so it is now time for breakfast and second coffee of the day. I think what I'm going to try and do now is to make the Zaddy Craft's really good chenille sunflower turtle, because my sunflowers over there somewhere have seen better days. So the sooner I can get them done, the better. And if I can make a third one for my niece, because she's about to have her 6th birthday party, and it's a picnic in a sunflower patch. So I feel like I can send her a sunflower turtle to go along with the rabbit that she asked for. And I made her rabbit a rabbit, because at Christmas I made her a teddy bear, but she asked that her bear had a bear to go with it. So I feel like there's a theme. So breakfast, turtles, and then possibly finish the teapot. I do have some errands to run today. I have to drop some people off, run people around, be mom taxi, and then I do have some ordering to do, because I am about to run out of stuffing. So there's that. Oh no, you've had your breakfast, bro. This is mine. All right, I'm going to eat this before I'm having to share this. All right.
To leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again.
Right, so I'm hoping that it's not too windy, because I'd like to sit in front of the sunflowers. Here are my 2 sunflower turtles. This one's the Hobbii toucan yarn, and this one's Zach's Zaddy Craft's a really good chenille. Now, I was really expecting to find, well, no difference between them, but I was expecting to like the toucan, because I really like Honey Bunny. But Zach's yarn, I was initially expecting that it was going to be more like a blanket yarn to work with. Like, it does hurt my shoulders more than the Hobbii toucan. But I made these both with a 6mm hook, still a knitter at heart. And if we have a look here, the toucan recommends having a 7, and Zach's yarn recommends a 5.5. I wouldn't want to use his with a 5.5, because I feel like that would really hurt my hands, and I'm still struggling with injury. But the toucan one, if I went up to a 7, that's going to be really, really loose. Like, if we have a look at the stitch definition on the face here and on the little fins, it's fine. But if I'm going to be stuffing it, because it's a plushy yarn, it's not going to be as firm. Like, it's already not as firm, and I've made them the same with the same amount of rows, stitches, stuffing, the full works. Yeah, I mean, I do think it is a really good chenille yarn. And as for the sunflower turtle pattern, I know that there's like 100,000 sunflower turtle patterns out there. I'd like to think that mine is somewhat different. I will link it down below. It will be a free pattern, because sunflower turtles aren't original, but this version of the pattern, I'd like to think it's a bit different. Mostly what I was wanting to do was have a project that I could test the yarn on that had stitches that were going to be putting the yarn to the test. Pulling through a single a single front loop only for these petals. I expected that was going to fray the yarns more than it did. Both held up better than anticipated. This one didn't hold up quite as well as Zach's yarn did. What was the struggle of? What's the struggle straight of them? The toucan yarn is softer when it's finished. Zach's chenille is still like a blanket yarn in that it loses a bit of the softness once it's been worked, but it's still softer than your average blanket yarn. So is it a really good chenille? I think it's a really good chenille. I'll have to do the calculations as to which is more cost effective, because I know that the toucan comes on more sales, but I'm really impressed with Zach's really good chenille. It is a really good chenille. Again, I will link the pattern for my version of the sunflower turtle down below. It's got a double row of petals. Both petals are different, and there's this textured bobble stitch shell pattern if you want to make your own sunflower turtle. And now I need to make another sunflower turtle, because I would like to keep these two on the shelf in my yarn and little man room, which just sounds, I know it sounds terrible, but the office at the house when we've built it will have a yarn room which will be shared with my partner, where he does tiny models. So I'm calling it the yarn and little man room, and everybody keeps giving me this look when I say little man room, thinking, what even does that mean? But I'd like these to be sitting up on a shelf. But my niece is about to have a 6th birthday party at a sunflower patch, so I'm going to make her a sunflower turtle. I think I'm going to make her one out of Zach's yarn, to be honest. Yeah. Well, that's all there is from me on this one. Is it a really good chenille yarn? Yes, it is. Hobbie's toucan, what do I think of it? It remains soft after crocheting, but I would want to drop my hook size down further. I wouldn't want to use more than about a 4.5 with the Hobbii toucan, even though it looks to be the same thickness as Zach's yarn. Zach's, I would not want to drop down to the 5.5 because I feel like that's going to hurt me. I'm going to stick with the 6mm, but all in all, I'm happy with the stitch definition. I'm happy with how it's come together. And I'm really happy with how the eyes have sunken into Zach's yarn, to be honest. Yeah. All right, this pattern is listed below, and I will catch you next week. Bye.